Hey guys, welcome to another game. I'm Aaron and this is War3TV, and the game we're going to go ahead and get started with here is the second game in a best of 3 for the Fit for Gaming Solo League Week 1 out of Division 1 between WaN, the Undead player, and WarchiefRich, the Night Elf player. So let's go ahead and get this game started. And this game, as you can see, is on Echo Isles. The first game between these two players was on Nomad Isles, where WarchiefRich was able to secure victory. And actually WaN had started out really well, I think, in that first game on Nomad Isles with his ghoul harass. Unfortunately, he got his Death Knight surrounded by 4 archers, a really nice surround by Rich, and it all seemed to go downhill from there. Rich able to use that time to creep up a little bit and then not allow the undead to creep up very much. And it ended up costing him the game. Rich's pressure was able to slowly chip away at the undead until WarchiefRich was able to win. And on this game here on Echo Isles, we see the British Night Elf player doing a similar build to last game. Ancient of War creeping, putting up his Altar of Elders, most likely going to go Demon Hunter once again. WarchiefRich likes to play Demon Hunter. We may see a Warden, but most likely a Demon Hunter. And on the other side of the map, we have WaN, the German Undead player, putting up once again Altar of Darkness and a Crypt here. So we don't see a graveyard, we don't see a late altar, we will see some more ghouls. It looks like this game. Actually, the altar is a bit late from WaN. So WaN did do a late altar build, but he did an early crypt build. So kind of interesting build here from WaN. He did a late altar build, but he's not building crypt fiends. So an interesting strategy here from WaN. I guess he's going to get quite a few ghouls. Perhaps that means he wants to tech early, since he wanted that extra lumber getting the crypt first. He may decide to tech early and perhaps do some sort of tier 2 push, or maybe even an early expansion. But back at the Night Elf, we see that his first archer is out. Some Ancient of War creeping will begin. On the left side of the map, a ghoul down here harassing this wisp. The ghoul will see now that the Demon Hunter will be coming out soon. And WaN will have a good idea that Rich will most likely be doing the same type of strategy that he did last game. So here is the Demon Hunter, going to last hit these creeps, get some experience, and the ghoul is able to scout that out and see what's going on. On the right side of the map, the Death Knight still not out yet, but he does have his Tome of Relics up, so he will be getting a Skeleton Rod, most likely selling his Town Portal. Creeping continuing here, 2/3 of the way to level 1 for the Night Elf Demon Hunter, and we will probably see him creep up a green camp now, securing level 2 on his DH, completely uncontested. So here is the Death Knight, and he does sell his Town Portal, buy some items, and more ghouls being produced, so no graveyard yet. So we will not see any fiends this game. Once again from WaN. WaN playing ghouls last game as well. He has a really nice micro, a really high APM. Unfortunately, it did cost him last game. He really wasn't paying attention to his Death Knight, and he got that surround on his Death Knight, which wasn't too good. So now, the Death Knight here, running around, trying to scout out where the Demon Hunter is. He does have Unholy Aura. And we actually see a tech happening in the Undead base. So the Undead teching quite a bit quicker than the Night Elf player. The Night Elf tech should be happening soon as well, though. So the Undead deciding to tech, and since he went so many ghouls early, and he's not doing any ghoul push right now, we may see Gargs come out from him later. Last game he did ghouls, but he went into transitioned into fiends, destroyers, and frostworms. But his build was a bit interesting this time, and he is bringing his ghouls now with him. So he will do some type of ghoul push once again. He has Dust of Appearance on his Demon Hunter, or his Death Knight, trying to do some more harassment with these skeletons, denying a skeleton right there. So nice awareness, using his Death Knight to kill that skeleton, not give any experience to WarchiefRich, or any additional experience rather. And now we will have the ghouls matching up with the Night Elf player, meeting up with the Death Knight, going to try to do some damage. The Demon Hunter, however, running towards the Undead base. Now a graveyard has been put down for WaN, and he's actually putting up a second crypt right now. So he will be going Gargs. He has put up 2 crypts, so he will transition into Gargs. I guess that's why he decided to do a crypt first early tech, was so he can get quite a bit of lumber, enough lumber to not only harass with his ghouls, but put up a crypt as well. So he will be going Gargs here on Echo Isles. A different strategy than he employed last game. So I guess he deciding that fiends and destroyers aren't the best strategy against Rich. Trying to get a nice block here on this archer. This archer looks like it will be going down here. The Demon Hunter trying to get in here and save that archer. Unfortunately, the archer does go down. So good job there by WaN, using his Death Knight to block that archer, let the ghouls kill it, and WarchiefRich needs to be careful with his Demon Hunter. He doesn't want to get that surrounded. He doesn't have Boots of Speed on his Demon Hunter yet. And now WaN trying to do some more damage here. We do see a Hunter's Hall now going up in the back of WarchiefRich base, but it is a bit late, so he won't be able to get any Ancient Protectors once these Gargs start coming out, since the tech of the Undead player was quite a bit faster than the Night Elf players. One archer did go down here in the base, actually, and WarchiefRich needs to be very careful. He doesn't want to get surrounded up against this Altar of Elders here. So WaN continuing to do a little bit of harassment, much more successful this time than last game, since he didn't get his Death Knight surrounded. He's actually gotten quite a bit of experience off of Wisps and Archer kills, and the Demon Hunter almost getting us around there, so WaN almost getting that Demon Hunter. Just barely missed it. So tier 2 already for the Undead, and the Undead is already going to start pumping out Gargoyles. The Hunter's Hall not even finished producing, so we won't see any Ancient Protectors coming up in the Night Elf space just yet. So right now things are looking pretty nice for WaN as far as the strategy goes. He's been able to kill a couple of archers. He has put some harassment down on the Night Elf player, and the Gargs are already starting to come out. No Ancient Protectors or anything like that for the Night Elf player just yet. And one Ancient of Lore going down. Looks like a second Ancient of Lore will be going down as well. And this Wisp most likely picking up a Panda right here. A Panda going to be very strong against these Gargoyles. And a staff already picked up on the Demon Hunter, so the Demon Hunter staffing out that archer, making sure it doesn't go down. And there's the second hero. And the second hero is actually a Naga from WarchiefRich, so an interesting choice. I don't know if that was a misclick or if he's just trying out a different strategy here, or just trying to get a hero to deal with all of these archers. And a nice surround here by WaN, able to kill another one of these archers. So WaN doing a really good job here with this ghoul harass. But the Naga, I think the Naga was chosen possibly to deal with all of these ghouls, this early ghoul push. Perhaps WarchiefRich thought that WaN would be doing a much larger ghoul push, and as you can see, the frost arrows on the Naga is able to force WaN to run these ghouls away. However, the Naga won't be as effective against these Gargs as a Panda would, Panda being extremely strong against mass Gargs. Now the Demon Hunter chasing down the Death Knight. Death Knight still only level 1. But he does have that aura already. He chose aura first, and the Gargoyle is being fended off by the Naga. So the Naga's range doing good right here in this little bit of harassment. And the Gargoyle's not able to do too much since there are so many archers back here in the back of WarchiefRich's base with this Naga. So the Naga actually working out very well here. An Ancient Protector was put down instantly when Rich saw that this these Gargs were coming in. He instantly put down this Ancient Protector. And now we have more Gargoyle harass going down against these Wisps. The Naga there trying to do some damage. Demon Hunter chasing down this Death Knight, trying to do a little bit of damage here, but this tower able to keep the Demon Hunter away. And trying to get us around here is WaN. A nice attack once again from the tower. WaN should be able to get this surround right here. He has quite a few units, so he does get the surround. The Demon Hunter forced the TP away straight away. So nice job here by WaN, able to harass these Wisps and surround that Demon Hunter at the same time. The second Ancient of Lore for Rich is now coming up. It looks like he will move this Ancient Protector now closer to his Wisp line so that they don't get harassed too much by these Gargoyles. On the other side of the map, we have level 2 now on the Death Knight, continuing to creep up a little bit here. And we have no second hero yet for the Undead player. But as soon as he gets enough gold, I would assume that we will see a Lich come out second for WaN. Once again, these Gargs just flying around, trying to find some stray Wisps or anything, some Scout Wisps, trying to do some damage. And WarchiefRich now does have a Dryad, so he's going to try to creep up a little bit here, while the Undead is kind of forced to back with these Archers and this Ancient Protector now. He's not too worried that the Gargs will be able to do too much damage, so he is going to run his knockout here, do a little bit of creeping, and at the same time the Undead is continuing to creep up with some ghouls, some skeletons, and he did start building his Lich, so a Lich second for the Undead player. And it looks like there are a couple of Wisps that could go down here. There are quite a few Gargs now, so WaN almost killing a Wisp here. That Wisp barely moving just in time. It looked like he had attacked and then ran his Gargs back just a little too far before they could do their second volley. They might have caught one of those wisps off guard, and the Demon Hunter now being staffed back to the base, and he will be able to scare off those Gargs. Perhaps, well, he doesn't have orb, so Demon Hunter really can't do anything. I guess he was just staffing it back to heal. Thought he might be closer to tier 3, but he's not quite too close to tier 3, so no orb yet for the Demon Hunter. However, the Night Elf does catch the Undead creeping here, so there are quite a few Dryads. They will be able to pick off a few of these ghouls. One ghoul already going down, and now that the Naga is here, able to pick off a second ghoul and a skeleton, picking up level 2 on the Naga, and a second skeleton does fall, so a nice creep jack there by WarchiefRich, taking out a couple of ghouls while WaN was trying to do a little bit of risky creeping with just a very limited number of ghouls. The Gargoyles, once again, sitting on the top of WarchiefRich's base, but unable to do much of anything. He still has, WarchiefRich has archers and a Dryad and an Ancient Protector here, guarding the Night Elf base.
A player's forces are under
so
attack.
WaN forced to kind of go back to his base, since the Night Elf army is, part of it was running around chasing down those ghouls, and there are a few archers enough to keep the Gargs away. So once again, Rich having some nice map control here, able to creep some camps on the Undead side of the map, which could help out in the late game. Already picking up level 3 on the Demon Hunter. Looks like there will be a creep jack from WaN this time. He did bring his Gargs, so the Night Elf needs to be very careful here. He did kill 2 of those creeps, but there are quite a bit of Dryads, but I don't know if it's enough to deal with this many Gargs and all of these ghouls as well. So some nuke going down on this Naga, and this is one of the real problems with the Naga here. Very nice pass there of the invulnerability potion to the Naga, survived with 9 HP and then staffed it away as well. So WarchiefRich showing some great micro skills here, almost getting us around on the Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter able to make it out though. So WaN with a nice creep jack, unfortunately unable to capitalize on it too much. WarchiefRich playing perfectly right there, able to keep his Naga alive, able to keep his Demon Hunter alive, and run his entire army away. He didn't. It did leave one creep here for WaN to finish off. So the Undead player will add some experience here to his level 1 Lich and his level 3 Death Knight. But WaN probably wanting to get a lot more out of that creep jack than he was able to.
A town is under
The Gargs running back towards the Night Elf base now, almost killing 2 wisps. 1 wisp did go down, a second wisp does survive with those Moonwells. It's almost night, however, so WarchiefRich probably doesn't care to use up his Moonwells to keep those wisps alive. Night will replenish all of those Moonwells. And now the Undead continuing to try to creep. He only has 2 heroes right here trying to creep out this orange camp. A couple of skeletons. And the Night Elf creeping out his natural expansion. Oftentimes you will see the Night Elf expand once they get quite a few Dryads up and they are able to put up their Ancient Protectors and things. So we may see an expansion coming from the Night Elf soon. But for right now, looks like he's just creeping up as the same time as the Undead creeps up. And so WaN has actually added Frostworms once again, so WaN going with a huge air army here. There's a lot of Gargs, some Frostworms, and probably too much right now for just the Dryads of Rich to deal with. He did pick up an orb on his Demon Hunter, but he doesn't have a Panda, which I feel could be a problem later on. The Naga does have Forked Lightning, however, so Forked Lightning can do quite a bit of damage to the Gargs, but not as much as a Panda, just not nearly as strong as a Panda. Once again, the Gargs failing at doing any type of real crippling harassment here.
Are under attack.
This Ancient Protector just dealing too much damage to those Gargs, and the Frostworm allowing this Undead to creep up with just his heroes in 1 unit while he tries to harass. The Gargs just flying back and forth around, trying to attack these Wisps. Unfortunately, he's not able to do too much. The Wisps now being reproduced, the ones that did fall to those Gargs being reproduced by WarchiefRich. He's getting quite a bit of Dryads here, and if you check back here, you can see that the Night Elf player is at 50 food, but 6 of that food is in archers that are sitting kind of in the back of his base, trying to fend off those Gargs. The Undead player is sitting at 50 food now, banking up as well, not wanting to break upkeep, adding a slaughterhouse now. He may start to add some statues or abominations or destroyers later on. If he starts to see too many Dryads coming out, like the Night Elf is really doing right now, if he sees so many Dryads, he may decide to build some abominations, because Gargs are really good against Dryads. They can do a lot of damage to these unarmored units, but abominations can add some meat shield up against this Demon Hunter and really do some damage against these Dryads as well. So that may be why he's adding that slaughterhouse, to get some abominations out so that he doesn't have to rely on a complete air army. back in Rich's base, you can see that he has not expanded. The Undead thinking that he was probably expanding by now, and I had the same idea. I figured the Night Elf would probably try to put up an expansion right now, since he's been having good map control. The Night Elf actually getting a really nice creep jack here, but a nuke going off on the big turtle, able to get all the experience for the Undead, and a nice TP out there. There's no way he could have defended with just 2 heroes against all of those Dryads. So a nice TP, and WaN doing a nice job of scouting, seeing that there is no expansion. I'm not sure why Rich is not expanding right now. He gets a nice tome of experience here, which will probably bring his Naga very close to level 4. So over halfway already through level 3 for the Naga and the Undead. At level 4 Death Knight and a barely level 3 Lich, so pretty even on the hero levels. Demon Hunter just about to hit level 4 for the Night Elf player, and still no expansion from the Night Elf. So he is also choosing to bank up to 54 instead of expand, and as you can see, he has 1700 gold right now, continuing to creep, and the Undead did break upkeep, so the Undead going up to 60 food, breaking upkeep, using all of his gold, and he is adding some abominations here. And it looks like since he did break 50 food, he may decide to do some type of push here, since he saw the Night Elf didn't expand. So he might be wanting to push early before the Night Elf can get up in the expansion and can continue to add an economic advantage. But WarchiefRich right now content to sit at 50 food. He has over 2,000 gold right now. So should he decide to push over 50 food, he can most likely go straight to really close to 80 by using up his gold here in the reserves. The Death Knight nor the Lich, neither one of them have any type of heal scroll, so Forked Lightning could be a problem. And we do see that the Naga is level 4, so, and there's Forked Lightning right there, taking down one Garg, but one Dryad did go down as well. The Undead checking out the expansion here of the Night Elf player, seeing that there is still no expansion for the Night Elf. So a bit of an untypical move here by the Night Elf to choose not to expand, to just bank at 50 food. I do believe it's more common to see the 50 food expansion than it is to just straight bank away. And now WarchiefRich has decided to break upkeep, so he's just now going over 50 food, pumping out more Dryads once again. He did see that there were Frostworms out already, so he has decided that he's going to need a larger army to deal with that big massive army of the Undead. But the Undead, after he ran all the way to the Night Elf's expansion and checked it out, he has decided to run all the way back to his base. So WaN wasting a bit of time here, but there really aren't any creep camps left on the map, so there's not too much that WaN can do. If these players choose not to engage, they're both going to have to just sit here in their base, or possibly put up an expansion. But right now WaN just running to the back of his base. He's trying to do some more harassment with these gargoyles. And we actually see Ancient of Winds going down for WarchiefRich. So after he broke 50 food, he decided to go back down under 50 food, and he's putting up Ancient of Winds here. So 2 Ancient of Winds going down. I guess he decides that there are just way too many Gargs to deal with all of these, to use these Dryads to deal with. So he's adding some Ancient of Winds, which will not only deal with the massive Gargoyle army of WaN, but also the Frostworms. Which, seeing this, it might be a good decision for WaN to transition into something other than Gargs, since he doesn't have a Dreadlord or anything. Getting into a battle where WaN has Gargs and he's up against a massive army of Hippogriffs and Dryads. I personally think that the Hippogriffs and Dryads are a bit better, and I would like to see WaN just not try to battle the big air battle here, but start to add a couple of Fiends perhaps to nullify completely the Hippogriff Riders, since the Hippogriff Riders can't attack anything but air. If he would add a few Fiends to web some of those Hippogriff Riders, the Gargs wouldn't have any problem at all, but he does have so many Gargs right here. I didn't know he had this many Gargs, so there are definitely not nearly enough Hippogriff Riders that could be produced right now for WarchiefRich to really stop these Gargs with just Hippos. And now focus going down on these Dryads. The Gargoyle is being focused as well. Forked Lightning went off, but 2 Dryads now going down, and it looks like a third could be going down here. There's a third Dryad already red. The heal scroll being used by the Undead player, another Forked Lightning going off, and a couple of Hippogriff Riders are out now, so WaN really needs to focus down on these Hippogriff Riders. They're taking out these Gargs really quickly, but he's only focusing on these Dryads, and a bear coming out. The bear goes down almost instantly here. And right, I think the mistake there that WaN might have made was to not focus on those Hippogriff Riders when they first came out. And he's at WarchiefRich actually adding some Fairy Dragons here, but he's still not focusing on these Hippogriffs. And there goes one Hippogriff, there goes the second. So those Hippogriffs doing quite a bit of damage when they could have just been killed instantly as soon as they came out. WaN let them live quite a bit, quite long in my opinion. And they actually killed 2 or 3 of the gargoyles before I think he even noticed that they were there. But now he's going back to focusing on these Dryads. So WaN losing a few extra gargoyles I think, but he's able to do quite a bit of damage here to the Night Elf player. And now some more bears, it sounded like, might be produced here. Nope, no bears coming out. Just an abomination here as far as melee goes for the undead player. And once again, those Hippogriffs, they keep running through the gargoyles because WaN is not focusing down on them. He's letting these Hippogriffs just kind of attack his gargoyles. Even though he had a lot more gargoyles than Hippogriffs, if you don't focus down on them, those hippos will eventually do a ton of damage. So he was preoccupied with those Dryads, let the Hippogriffs do a lot of damage when he could have just killed them instantly. But he did, it was almost a fair trade, I do believe, since his Frostworm did die. However, the Night Elf player is still sitting at 50 food and he still has 1,000 gold. The Undead just over 50 food, adding more gargoyles, so he's deciding not to go Fiends. He's just going to use gargoyles against Hippogriffs. And I think if he wants to play this way, he's going to have to focus down on those Hippogriffs with these gargoyles. He's continuing to do some Wisp harass here, and the Wisps, it looks like 2 Wisps go down, so a nice job there by WaN, even though he did do basically an even trade and he didn't really have a distinct advantage. He's still not afraid to do any type of harassment with these Gargs. So killing 2 more Wisps, adding level 4 to his Lich, almost level 5 for his Death Knight, and he's actually putting up a Haunted Gold Mine. So WaN believes that he has done enough damage to elicit putting up an expansion here. If that Undead expansion can get up, not too much more being produced in his base, as you can see. As I was saying though, if that Undead expansion does get up, we can see that the gold mines are almost running out. Only 600 gold left in the gold mine for the Night Elf player. WaN could be the only player producing any gold. The Night Elf will be able to march his Tree of Life down, however, so it may not be too long before the Night Elf is mining again. But the Undead expansion will definitely be up before the Night Elf players, which could give WaN a distinct advantage, especially if he's able to deny the expansion or slow down this Tree of Eternity later on whenever WarchiefRich tries to bring it down. And more Hippogriff Riders being produced by WarchiefRich, and this is what I'm talking about. There are a lot of Gargs here, but there are also a lot of Hippogriff Riders, and
Town is under siege.
I don't think that it's smart here for WaN to try to trade these, because once these, even if he kills all the Hippogriff Riders, there are still a lot of Dryads that can damage the remaining gargoyles as well. So I'm not a big fan of Undeads going Gargs whenever the Night Elf transitions into Hippogriff Riders. However, WaN is definitely a better Undead player than I am, so there could be more to this strategy than I'm seeing. But he has added quite a few abominations actually, so that should be able to deal with those Dryads. So if those abominations can deal with these Dryads, his gargoyles may be able to take down these Hippogriffs without too much damage being done to them by those Dryads. And now we do see the Tree of Eternity being put up, or being walked by WarchiefRich. And he's probably just going to try to escort this down all the way. If the Undead can try to stop this from happening, if he can somehow engage right here and either do a lot of damage to WarchiefRich or even try to kill this Tree of Eternity, we may see WaN take up a big advantage because his expansion is finished and he's draining out the last little bit of gold here at his main gold mine. So his expansion is up already compared to the Night Elf, who is just walking it up. And a shade is in place, so he does see that this Tree of Eternity is being walked down here. There are no wisps to repair it right now, so WaN could try to do a big push right here, and that does look like what he wants to do. He wants to engage here, try to deny this Tree of Eternity from rooting here, and a nice Nova going off there. That is one big thing, one difference between the Night Elf and the Undead, is that the Undead does have that Frost Nova that he can keep using on those Hippogriff Riders. And Wisp now moving down here to the Tree of Eternity for Rich. His Lich getting in a bad position. WaN getting a bit risky there. Needs to be very careful. And a nice mana burn going off there on the Lich. So losing 100 mana for no real no real reason. He sent that Lich out there, I guess to scout, but I don't think it was necessary. And now the Night Elf escorting his Tree of Life here, keeping his Hippogriffs next to that tree, not wanting these Gargs to, fly around and try to damage that Tree of Eternity here. So WaN did have position between the mine and the Tree of Eternity, but the Night Elf has forced him out to the side. So now the Night Elf player is able to walk his Tree of Eternity down here. So a good job there of Rich not getting baited into any type of big engagement. It looks like WaN has been trying to pull him in to some sort of fight, some sort of running battle here, but WarchiefRich playing very calm, not doing any such thing. Actually picking off one gargoyle there. And now one archer going down. So this is the type of battle that looks like WaN is wanting to do, but it's resulting in him trading off one unit for one unit, which may not be the best idea. And here comes these Hippogriff Riders, losing another gargoyle. So every time he tries to run these Gargs, these Hippogriffs come out and do a lot of damage. But he is able to get off some nice Frost Novas on these Hippogriffs. But an Abomination almost going down. So he decides to use Dark Ritual and kill his own Abomination for more mana on the Lich, trying to use Frost Novas to just go ahead and do a ton of damage to these Hippogriff Riders. However, there are enough Moonwells to completely heal all these Hippogriff Riders. So sacrificing Abomination to give him more Novas to try to finish off those Hippos isn't going to work out right now since they are back to full health. He did deny the entangling of that gold mine to continue to further delay the Night Elf. So he is getting gold right now, and the Night Elf is not, but he needs to be very careful with this Lich, putting off another Nova on these Hippogriff Riders, trying to continue to put them down into orange or red HP, and now he's using his Gargs to try to attack them. Another Nova going off, doing quite a bit of damage here. But he needs to be very careful against this Frost Nova. I'm not sure if he does have a heal scroll. I figure he should use that now. These Hippogriffs now being focused, so he's doing a good job of focusing Hippogriffs this time. And he actually didn't kill them all, and he's focusing down this Demon Hunter. He hasn't finished off these Hippogriffs. He's letting all of his Gargs die by not focusing these Hippos. So once again, he's leaving a few Hippogriffs here, and they're just wiping out his entire Guard army. So he did it once again. He did the same thing in the top of his base. He was focusing down on the Dryads, trying to focus on heroes, while there were just a few Hippogriff Riders that walked through his entire army. If he would have just finished off those last two Hippogriff Riders, he would have had a huge Garg army still. Unfortunately, perhaps he was trying to click on the Hippos and he just wasn't able to click on them, and it was clicking on the Dryads or something. But the Hippos of WarchiefRich doing a massive amount of damage to the Undead army of WaN, and now all of his Abominations are dead as well, the Demon Hunter now being focused. So WarchiefRich having a really good battle there, and almost killing the Death Knight. The Death Knight TPing out at the perfect time with just less than 50 HP. But I think a big mistake there by WaN. He had WarchiefRich in a position that he looked comfortable enough to engage in. He was doing a lot of damage to those Hippogriff Riders. He had gotten off a lot of Novas, and so they were already weak. Unfortunately, he just left a few too many alive and started to focus on these Dryads, trying to take down the Demon Hunter, since the Demon Hunter was at low HP. And he left these two Hippogriff Riders alive, and they do so much damage so quickly that the Gargs all started to fall at the same time. So a bit of a mistake there by WaN, losing what advantage it looked like he did have, since he was mining and the Night Elf wasn't able to mine. And now things are back to even terms, with the Night Elf player sitting at 43 food and the Undead only at 34. So the Undead losing quite a few more units than the Night Elf player. WaN letting his advantage slip just by a little bit there. Just one tiny mistake. And you can see it at a high level play like this, that it all comes down to those tiny things and how much they can change the tide of the game. So WaN did have an expansion, the Night Elf didn't, and just two Hippogriffs able to do so much damage. And now Rich continues to add some more units, and we actually do see Fiends coming out for WaN, so WaN has decided to transition into Fiends, not wanting to do the Gargoyle versus Hippogriff thing. And so he is adding some Crypt Fiends, but there are also Bears coming out on the side of WarchiefRich right now. And adding another statue, so he will be getting some statues here. He might turn them into more destroyers. He has one destroyer, a couple of Gargs, an Abomination, and a Crypt Fiend here. And it looks like another Ghoul being added, and one more Fiend being produced. But now the Night Elf player will see that this expansion is here, and it looks like he wants to engage, try to do some damage to this expansion as well. A nice counter attack here. And now the Night Elf backing off once he sees that there's a tower here and the Undead is coming back. Nice staff there on that Dryad. And the Night Elf has been able to lure WaN outside of the Blight and pick off one ghoul. So another little mistake there by WaN, letting the Night Elf pull him out there and give a free kill. And some more Hippogriffs coming, a Dark Ritual there, saving that Gargoyle from dying to the Night Elf, just denying it completely. Adding some more mana to the Lich. And now we do see these bears coming, so the bears will be able to do quite a bit of damage to these fiends. So WarchiefRich having nice awareness, knowing that WaN would probably transition into fiends and adding some bears to his own army. So he has 2 bears now. So both players adapting their strategies at the same time. So really nice play, but we do have a level 5 Demon Hunter and a level 5 Naga up against a level 5 Death Knight and a level 4 Lich. If that Demon Hunter does get somehow to level 6, it could present some huge problems for the Undead. And it looks like the Night Elf does want to engage once again before too many units for the Undead are produced and he can get back up to 50 food. He's sitting at 44 food right now. The expansion of the Night Elf player has been up for a while. He's sitting at 50 food, continuing to bank gold once again. A Shade now following the Night Elf army, able to keep track of it, and it looks like WaN is just going to kind of ring around the rosy here, avoid this Night Elf army until he can get back up to 50 food as well. He doesn't want to engage when he knows that he's probably at a food deficit, since he probably has to know that he lost way too many Gargs in that huge fight at the expansion of the Night Elf. And now WarchiefRich heading towards the main of the Undead, catching this Lich out here. WaN needs to be careful with that. And WaN now running away from the Night Elf. So both players just kind of running around. We do have 3 attack upgrades on these Gargoyles, with only 1 attack upgrade on the Hippogriff. So the Gargoyles will do more damage than those Hippos, but this Fiend transition is what WaN has decided to go with here. He's catching these bears here off guard, but he doesn't have his Frostworm anymore. His Frostworm went down to those Hippogriffs in the earlier battle. He does have an Abomination, getting a bit weak out here, and he's trying to pull this Night Elf back towards Blight. The Night Elf having none of it though, and both players just kind of continuing to run back and forth, jockeying for position here, both wanting to have a nice position. But the Demon Hunter has been able to actually mana burn all the mana from the Death Knight, and a web going here on this Hippogriff, and no coil left for this Abomination. The Demon Hunter now forced to TP, so WaN able to pull the Night Elf back into the Blight and kill. Oh, a nice Fiend kill right at the very end. WaN was able to pull the Night Elf into his Blight and force a TP, but he did lose 2 Fiends at the very end, so another Frostworm out here now for WaN. But those 2 Fiend kills at the very, very end that went off to Fork Lightning, and then just a shot from the Naga, were very important Fiends. WaN really needed to not lose any of those Fiends right there, but WarchiefRich doing a good job after he TP'd, able to staff out a bear and kill 2 Fiends. So even though WaN did get the Night Elf away from him for a moment, the Night Elf does still have his expansion up, and he did kill a couple of Fiends. So what looked like a big advantage for WaN, especially since he had so many Gargoyles, has now turned into what looks like an advantage for WarchiefRich, since it's back to 1 base against 1 base. WaN's really big opening that he did have was whenever he was mining, and he was able to deny the mining of the Night Elf player. But quite a few Hippogriffs here now will be able to do quite a bit of damage to these Frostworms and Destroyers if WaN isn't able to web them enough. He only has 4 Fiends now. He could have had 6 had the 2 not died at the very end right when the TP went off for the Night Elf. Now his Demon Hunter well over level 5, and the Naga almost level 6. So hero levels about to reach the levels of ultimate for the Night Elf player. And as you can see on the Undead, he didn't add too much experience to his heroes. During that last battle, he did morph 2 more Destroyers here, so it looks like he will engage here. He wants to engage the Night Elf player. I guess he's tired of just running around, so he has morphed 2 Destroyers, focusing down on this Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter does have a health potion here, a Chimera now added to the Night Elf army. And once again, the Night Elf decides that it might be a better option to TP out, Fork Lightning going off, Coil going off, killing a Hippogriff. And I guess the Night Elf didn't want to fight whenever he knew the Destroyers had so much mana. The mana Destroyers would be able to do quite a bit of damage, especially to the bears. So the Night Elf just TPing out of there, waiting for the mana to run out on the destroyers, and WaN is going to try to press his advantage here while the Night Elf ran away and try to take down this entangled gold mine and deny the mining of WarchiefRich once again. So he's able to kill this gold mine once again, kill a couple of these wisps. One detonated, one died. And WarchiefRich now running back, trying to do something to save this expansion. And the Demon Hunter has an orb, catching a statue off guard here, so WaN making another little tiny mistake and running a statue towards the top of the trees here instead of towards the bottom, and losing that statue for absolutely nothing. The Demon Hunter still has a health potion, but WaN once again trying to find a good position that he's comfortable to fight in. He doesn't want to fight these bears on open ground up against his fiends, and he has no more abominations to stop the pathing of these bears and provide a meat wall. So basically the only thing he's going to be able to do is use his fiends to be attacked directly, or let his heroes shield those bears. But with 2 bears and a Demon Hunter and a Chimera, his heroes could go down pretty quickly. And now there are quite a few Dryads once again, so WarchiefRich now just has a massive army, and it looks like he's going to pick off another fiend here, since Frost Arrow from the Naga will be able to slow this down. We might see another coil, the coil almost going off, so the fiend does go down. And Naga picking up level 6 here. And now it's WarchiefRich that looks like he's a bit on the run, and a Dryad may be picked off here. So the last, nice staff there, the last hit of the fiend was about to hit that Dryad. A beautiful staff. The Demon Hunter does have this potion, he's being focused down right now, almost getting a coil off, so a nice mana burn by the Demon Hunter, able to stop that coil from going off from the Demon Hunter. And now the Demon Hunter has no mana, so he won't be able to heal any of these fiends. And once again, this back and forth battle that WaN keeps trying to engage in, he keeps trying to chase and pick off units of the Night Elf player, he ends up getting his own units picked off. So this exchange type that WaN wants isn't working out for him right here. Another fiend going down, and the Demon Hunter getting a bit low here. There are 3 very low Dryads, and now a bear going down. So finally WaN is able to pick off one of these bears. However, there are hippogriffs, too many hippogriffs right now to web them all, and they just went through that worm so easily, and now they're chasing down these destroyers. And level 6 picked up on the Demon Hunter, so now he has Metamorphosis. So his Demon Hunter will be able to do so much damage to these destroyers. And there are no more fiends left, it looks like. His Demon Hunter can probably kill this entire army just by himself since he's level 6. And it looks like the Lich is getting very low here. Enough mana for 1 coil there on the Death Knight. So the Death Knight coils the Lich, but his entire army falls, and then a nice Forked Lightning going off on the Death Knight, and WaN calls GG. So a very good game there between these 2 players, and it's actually WarchiefRich that picks up the win, even though it looked like WaN had quite a bit of an advantage there whenever he put up his expansion. Just a tiny little mistake letting those 2 hippogriffs leave, in my opinion, letting them live, and they just ate through those Gargs. All in all, 2 very